When I was in secondary school, I've always loved arts. I've always loved designing. So I got noticed by some of my teachers. So fast forward to when I graduated, I didn't get admission immediately. I spent close to 3 years at home. It can be frustrating. You can relate to that. So this period was very, very, very sad for me. But I find like I was able to discover myself during this period. I got to know about how I can monetize what I'm doing, how I can design stuffs, how I can make a living out of it. So I called my brother one day. He's into clothes customization that I want to learn this thing. So I went to him. So I was observing for close to a year, 2 years, observing what he was doing. So when I felt it was time to start my brand, that I could stand on my own, so I came back to Osogbo. I told my dad that I need to start my business, that I want to start something. I told him to lend me 5,000 naira, even though I never returned it. So I started my brand. I was making money. So later on, I got admission into the university. So when that happened, I started collecting jobs, working with the federal government, collecting contracts. So I was able to better my life. I was able to get stuffs for myself. I didn't have to wait for them at home to send me money. I know. I could remember when I was in secondary school, there was this job I was doing for some other secondary school. I was doing posters, I was designing flyers and stuff like that. So I made up my mind that since I've started making money, I won't collect money to make my hair from my parents again. I'll get clothes for myself. So that was the first step I took, which will bring me to what I'll be talking on today. Entrepreneurship is the key to our future, is the way by which we can redefine our tomorrow. So I'll be sharing some thoughts with you. As we all know the situation of this country, according to Nigerian statistics, we have about 47% of graduates in Nigeria. And we have about 500,000 graduates every year that are pumped into the labor market. So we see people on the street looking dapper with a briefcase or portfolio. You think they are employed, but no, they are seeking for job. And once they finally get to an opportunity to enroll in a particular industry, you tell them um, you ask them if they have 5 year the minimum of 5 years. But how can they do this? How can they achieve this when a young graduate that just graduated maybe this year, and you are expecting such person to have 5 year minimum? It's not possible. So there's this question that I asked myself while I was about leaving the higher institution, that what will I do after I graduate? But I already had answers to that question. But I was concerned about my fellow colleagues in class. Fast forward to last year, a friend of mine called me that he wants to learn what I'm doing. And these are the people that make jest of us in university then. That, oh, low lives, oh, collecting contracts, working, traveling to Lagos, doing this and that. So I'm like, after graduating, serving your country, now looking for employment, now wanting to learn what I'm doing. So, what is the value of the years that we've spent in school when we are not guaranteed of employment? So, I have a good news for us. Entrepreneurship is the key to our future. Is the way by which we can redefine our future. Is the way by which we can place Nigeria on the global map. Is the way by which we can better our life and our society. So, if one third of graduates end up as successful entrepreneurs, then we can be rest assured that the rest of us can be employed. That is, um, if, for example, if we are 10 in number and three of us are entrepreneurs, we start businesses and it's booming, then we can be rest assured that we can employ the remaining seven. So, according to Small Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, micro, small, medium enterprise contribute to the nation's gross domestic product, that is 47.8%. So, children are the leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, it is pertinent for us to know that we need to protect our future. If truly we are the leaders of tomorrow, then we have to protect it. So, how do we protect our future? I'll be talking about the first point I have here, which is creative visualization. I'll explain that to you. It is the technique by which we use our imagination to create what we want in life. Creative visualization helps us to be able to imagine stuff we want. We use our imagination to create things we want in our life, and we have been using it consciously or unconsciously in our life. We use it to imagine lack, um, prosperity, fear. So we can use creative visualization to imagine what we want in our life, to imagine a new Nigeria, to imagine how we can redefine our future. So I'll be talking on the second point, which says entrepreneurship education. We need to educate ourselves. We need to let people know what entrepreneurship is all about at the grassroots level. So I started an initiative last year for secondary school students in Osogbo and its environs. We are educating them, we are enlightening them, we are motivating them on the benefit they can get from entrepreneurship, how they can be able to stand on their own, how they can be able to create a new Nigeria, how they can be able to create wealth for themselves. So we did that initiative last year and we just concluded one a few days back, and it was massive. We brought speakers from different spheres of life to enlighten them about self-dependency and self-actualization. So we have to create entrepreneurship centers, whereby people after graduating from secondary school, so while they await admission to their institution, they can learn something, ranges from clothing, graphic design, web design, and stuff like that. This will help them to be able to create employment and to be able to better their lives. So also, our government should be able to provide policies that are favorable for entrepreneurs, not policies that we hinder their performance. So I want us to know that government policies at times might limit the activities of entrepreneurs, whereby saying you have to have so capital before you can start, you have to register in this place with huge amount of money. So government policies should be able to be favorable for entrepreneurs. Thank you.